The sun rose over Rome with a deceptive calm. No one knew that by sunset the world would be changed forever. Julius Caesar was at the height of his power. Named Dictator for life, he had the world at his feet, but also targets on his back. In the garden of Brutus, the shadows moved. Cassius had convinced him that Caesar's ambition was a poison to the Republic. Brutus was torn. He loved Caesar as a father, but he loved Rome more. The conspirators knew they needed his reputation to justify their deed. Anonymous letters were left for Brutus to find, urging him to wake up and save Rome from a king. The pressure was mounting. At the palace, Calpurnia's dreams were filled with blood. She saw Caesar's statue spouting a fountain of gore while citizens bathed their hands in it. The priests examined the omens. In the sacrificial animal, they found no heart. It was a sign of certain death, yet Caesar laughed it off. Decimus Brutus, a trusted friend, came to fetch him. He mocked the dreams, calling them a sign of Caesar's greatness, and Caesar was convinced. He walked out of his house for the last time. He moved through the streets like a god, unaware of the blades waiting in the dark. On the way, he saw the Soothsayer again. "The Ides have come," Caesar said. "Aye, Caesar," the old man replied, "but not gone." A man named Artemidorus tried to hand him a list of the conspirators, but Caesar set it aside, saying what concerned him last should be read last. They reached the Theatre of Pompey. The Senate was meeting there while the Curia Julia was being rebuilt. It was the perfect trap. Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal friend and muscle, was drawn aside by Trebonius. He was left outside, unable to protect his leader. Caesar took his seat. The conspirators closed in, pretending to offer petitions, but their hands were reaching for their hidden steel. Tullius Cimber stepped forward with a plea. When Caesar refused, Cimber grabbed his robe, pulling it down, the signal for the attack. "Speak, hands for me!" Casca cried. The first blade caught Caesar near the neck. The struggle had begun. He fought back like a cornered lion, but every time he turned, another blade found its mark. The hall was filled with screams. Then he saw him, Brutus, his friend, his protege. Brutus stepped forward and raised his dagger. This was the wound that killed his spirit. "You too, Brutus?" Caesar whispered. He stopped fighting, covered his face with his toga, and let the remaining blades fall. In a final irony, he fell at the feet of Pompey's statue. The man he had defeated in war was the silent witness to his end. When it was over, a terrible silence fell. The other senators fled in terror, leaving the conspirators standing over the broken body of a god. "Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead," they cried. But as they marched into the streets, they found only fear in the eyes of the people. The news spread like wildfire. Rome didn't celebrate, it hid. Every man feared his neighbor, and every house was barred. I stood there in the dust, watching them. They thought they had saved the Republic, but they had only opened the gates to chaos. They had bathed their hands in his blood, just as Calpurnia had dreamed. The ritual was complete, but the cost was yet to be paid. Mark Antony eventually returned. He saw the body and promised the conspirators peace, but in his heart, he was already planning his revenge. At his funeral, the people's grief turned to rage. The Republic was burned on that same fire, and out of its ashes, an empire would rise. They killed a man to save a system, but they only succeeded in ensuring that system could never return. The Republic died with Caesar. The Ides of March remind us that even the most noble intentions can lead to the darkest of days. This is how empires are born. This has been History POV. For more forgotten stories of the past, stay tuned to Time Awakens POV.